is Netflix's new horror movie, Time Cut, an amazing time travel serial killer epic with a deeply rooted story and lore that will keep you thinking about it for days. Welcome to First Time Watching. Please like and subscribe as we jump straight into the explanation. On April 18, 2003, high school senior Summer Field is absolutely not in the mood to attend the senior class celebration spring fling. Just as she is about to enter the party, she is stopped by her best friend Quinn. He wants to give her an envelope and asks her how she is doing, but she has seen better days since her best friends just got butchered by their very own local serial killer. But before he can give her the envelope, she gets distracted by her ex-boyfriend Ethan, who truly believes he still has a shot with her. He pulls her onto the dance floor, but she is not in the mood for his stupid antics. The killer, who has earned himself the name, the Sweetly Slasher, named after the town, Sweetly, arrives at the party fashionably late. Since Ethan keeps badgering Summer and is about as tactful as a hot poker up the bum with it, she decides to take a trip to the toilet in silence. But she is not alone. The Sweetly Slasher joins her and starts swinging his kitchen knife at her. So instead of running back towards the crowd, Summer decides to hide in an abandoned barn. The slasher follows her, catches up with her, and uses a scythe to introduce us to her better half. April 18, 2024. Summer's sister, Lucy, has just received an email that she has been accepted into the NASA internship program. But while she is excited about the great news, she can't share it with her family because 21 years ago, the Sweetly Slasher went on a killing spree and killed 4 teenagers, ending his spree with her sister Summer, and then he disappeared into thin air. The town and her family have never really recovered from what happened on that day. And even though she was not born yet back then and had nothing to do with it, she is still the constant victim of this tragedy. The only person Lucy can really share this news with is her science teacher. He asks her how she feels, because it is the day of her sister's death, but she answers that she barely knew her. Lucy is worried her parents won't let her go to the NASA program because they are for good reasons. Insanely overprotective. After school at home, Lucy goes into Summer's room, which looks more like a museum about life back in the early 2000s. There, she finds a loose floorboard with in it a letter that reads, "Summer now, I'm free, but you'll never be. You'll regret this. Signed by E." Her mom comes to get her. It is time for their yearly memorial. First, they go to Olive Garden, where they fill up on some bottomless breadsticks. During dinner, Lucy tells her family about the internship. Let's say they are not thrilled. Her father even offers her a pitiful replacement at the Walmart equivalent of NASA called Sonar. He works there, and it's right here in Sweetly. They drop the subject and talk about when her mother used to cook before the Great Depression hit. But ever since Summer got killed, she stopped cooking and decided with one kid less, they can splurge on takeout. After dinner, they go to the spot where Summer got gutted. They all put something personal at the grave, but Lucy forgot, so she just says she left it in the car to quickly grab something from her bag. When she hears a strange sound and sees a light coming from one of the sheds, she walks towards it and inside finds a machine. Lucy pushes the start button because her intrusive thoughts were stronger than her common sense, and on the display appears the date, April 16, 2003. The machine opens. It is made by Sonar. 2 lasers cross their beams and a portal starts to open up. Then there is a flash and the machine closes. Lucy walks outside and it looks like somebody fixed up the abandoned hay shed. Her parents are gone, and even worse, her cell reception has disappeared. She runs into town, and something is very wrong. The townspeople look happy, and there are posters saying it's 2003. Then she runs to school and is confronted with a horribly outdated fashion sense. She is shocked and confused when Summer passes her in the hallway. Lucy eavesdrops on Summer turning down Ethan. He is wondering why she would break up with him so suddenly after 2 years of dating. His friend tells him to drop it and join him in bullying some nerdy kid. Lucy barges into her science class. She asks her teacher about his thoughts on time travel. He gives her some crap answer that we are all time travelers. And then he calls over Quinn, who is a true physics geek. The kid tells her that time traveling is an awful idea because it can cause a ripple in time. She follows Quinn into the hallway where Ethan and his buddies are bullying him. They are taking him to the river to throw him in, but the poor bastard can't even swim, so they are are planning a murder. I was in high school in 2003, and I'm glad stuff like this only happens in American movies because I was nerdy. And throwing people into a river does not sound safe. The whole crowd is chanting to toss him in, but Lucy stops them and throws Ethan on the ground. Quinn first tries to protect his manlyhood, but we all know he's a little bitch boy. And then Lucy decides to tell him she is from the future, so he asks her to prove it, and she shows him her phone. He is trying really hard to accept it as proof, but it still seems a little far-fetched to him. But Summer barges in on their conversation and asks Quinn if he is all right after the whole drowning thing, and then she wastes no time to ask him if he finished her homework, and he certainly did. Summer asks Lucy if she knows her, and then she assumes she might met her at some camp. Summer asks her name. She tells her it's Lucy. Summer smiles and tells her that that is her middle name. But since there is no time to waste, Lucy takes Quinn to see the time machine. The machine doesn't work right now for plot reasons, so they take it and bring it to Quinn's tinkering garage. The sonar energy supply does not work anymore, and they can't just break into the Walmart equivalent of a high-tech company. Now, Quinn ain't stupid, and he noticed Lucy was worried about being in the past on April 16th. She asks him if he knew something bad was going to happen. Would he stop it? He answers no. That would be a huge mistake because you can't just change the past. That might just cause a paradox. Quinn has to go to work, and Lucy asks him to bring her home. So it's obvious that now he knows that Lucy is Summer's sister. Summer runs outside to flirt her finished homework assignments out of Quinn, but he did not finish what she needed. But since he has to go to work, he uses the opportunity and tells Summer Lucy is great at science, so she can help her. It's a little weird, because her parents are happy and friendly people who smile and cook. Lucy wants to steal her dad's sonar keycard, but that is quite difficult with him carrying it around his neck. After dinner, Lucy and Summer discuss who has worse parents outside. Summer thinks she has it bad because her mom cares, and Lucy knows she has it worse because her mom only cared about Summer and is now a spiraling mess. Up in Summer's room, Lucy asks Summer the same question she asked Quinn. If she knew something bad was going to happen, would she do something? And Summer answers yes, of course. Screw the consequences. And that is all that Lucy needed to hear. She rushes over to the mall where Summer's friends Valerie and Brian are about to be murdered. Lucy runs into Quinn, who works at the movie theater, and asks him if he's seen them. They are in a clothing store that looks like they sell clothing for 12-year-olds out of IKEA furniture. The lights suddenly turn off and the sweetly slasher kills Brian with a broken CD. Valerie is confronted by the slasher and starts to run away from him, and just as she is about to get killed, Lucy shows up to distract him. Val and Lucy run off together and run down the escalator, but the slasher magically appears at the bottom of the stairs and Val falls on her way back up. A security guard comes running toward her, but the slasher kills both Val and the guard, and then he runs away. Lucy and Quinn return to his home, where she tells him that the security guard wasn't supposed to die. She calls the guy the sweetly slasher, and Quinn starts to freak out because only serial killers get nicknames. He acts like he doesn't want to know, but clearly he does. Lucy's parents always assumed the slasher was Ethan, but he had an alibi for the murders. That night, Lucy decides to break into her parents' home to steal the sonar keycard, but she gets busted by Summer. She has questions, but Lucy assumes she would never believe her. Summer convinces her to tell the truth anyway, and that's when Lucy tells her that she is her sister from the future. She shows Summer the letter she found in her future room, but Summer does not have this letter yet, so she still has some trust issues. Back at Quinn's workshop, Lucy barges in to help Quinn with fixing the time machine. Quinn expresses his feelings and mentions that it sucks that Lucy has to go back to her time. He'll miss her. Meanwhile, Summer receives her version of the same letter, and that convinces her of the whole future theory, so she decides to crash their workshop meet. Summer has a lot of questions about the future, but Lucy lies to her and tells her she'll have a great life and marries a great guy. Then Summer asks who the killer is, and Lucy accidentally spills the beans and tells her they never solved any of the murders. So Summer assumes there are going to be more and wants to know who. Lucy tells her Emmy is going to be next. Summer is absolutely shocked and tells them they can't let that happen. Summer asks Quinn for help to save Emmy, and he immediately flops and goes full screw the future mode. The three of them go to the museum where Emmy works. They search for her all over the place and find her just in time. The sweetly slasher attacks Emmy, but Summer helps her escape and they manage to get away from him. The three of them drive Emmy home and Summer walks her to the door to say goodbye. In the car, Lucy proposes proposes to also save the next person, and Quinn agrees after he learns it's Summer. They see Emmy and Summer hug, so a little later, Lucy connected the dots and tells Summer it's okay. She finally understands that the letter she received was never Ethan's. It was a letter written by Emmy, because Summer would regret it if she doesn't admit that she is a lesbian. Summer tells Lucy that she was afraid to come out to her parents, and that's why Emmy was angry with her. So Lucy gives her a tiny future spoiler and tells Summer that being gay in the future does get a little better, so she shouldn't be that worried about it. But with that, Summer also catches Lucy in the lie, because now she wonders why she said that Summer would end up with a husband. But they get interrupted by the waitress and skip that question, and Lucy chickens out on telling her the truth. Lucy sleeps over at her own house, and that morning her past parents ask her about her future plans. And when she tells them about the internship at NASA, they are impressed. She asks them if they ever thought about having another kid, and her parents answer happily, no. So that would mean that as Summer doesn't die, Lucy will never be born, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a pickle. On her way out, Lucy steals her dad's sonar key card and makes her way over to Quinn's house, where she finds the letter that Quinn wanted to give to Summer. In it, he confesses his love for Summer, but she is interrupted when Quinn enters the room. He asks her if she told Summer, but she explains that if she lives, Lucy doesn't get born. Quinn doesn't care because he has the hots for her. So Lucy decides to do the right thing and tells Summer the whole story, but she also tells her that she never felt like she existed anyway, because Lucy's entire life was defined by Summer's death. Then Lucy tells Summer she has a plan to save her, so she will have to trust her. That night, Lucy makes her way to Sonar to steal the power source for the time machine and notices that somebody is following her. It's Quinn. Together, they break in, but they are not the first to do so. There is a slashed-up security guard in the science lab where they keep the power sources, and one of them is missing. The slasher took one of the sources because the time machine was his. He's from the future. Meanwhile, Summer arrives at the party and kisses Emmy in front of everybody. Then she goes outside to meet up with the slasher and starts their game of cat and mouse. Except this time, she has help. A car crashes through the barn and hits the slasher. It's Quinn and Lucy. Summer quickly gets into the car as the slasher gets back up. He takes off his mask. It's future Quinn. They are very confused, but they get the heck out of there and hurry back to Quinn's house, where Quinn promises Lucy that he will never become the slasher. But Lucy already knew that this Quinn wouldn't. They rush to power up the time machine, but they have a visitor. Future Quinn lets himself into his garage. He explains that the bullying got to him after they threw him in the river. Summer laughed at him while he screamed. Then he tells her about the letter, and Summer told him that she would never love him like that. Maybe if he didn't kill her, he might have known that Summer was not into dudes. Past Quinn threatens future Quinn by holding a knife to his own throat, but future Quinn just laughs and tells him that that is not how time travel works, which means the movie has multiverses. Yay for alternate futures. The time machine is done charging, and Lucy grabs future Quinn while she tells the rest to run. Lucy and Quinn are back in the future, and Quinn's old garage is now a parking garage. Quinn attacks Lucy, but she fights him off with a car charging cable, and he ultimately stabs the knife into the power outlet and gets electrocuted. She then grabs his knife and stabs future Quinn. Lucy takes the sonar power source out of his jacket pocket and travels back to the past. She rejoins Summer and Quinn in the past and decides to stay with them. After she killed the slasher, she went to see her parents, but because of the changes in the past, they had no idea who she was, so there was no reason for her to stay there. A little later, Lucy reapplies to NASA in 2003. Summer and Emmy are dating, and the sisters have never been happier. Quinn and Lucy are also dating, and Summer's parents kind of adopted their own daughter into their happy little family. So was Time Cut, a deep, intricate time travel movie that will keep you awake because it is super deep. No. Was it a fun movie that I would recommend to people that sit at home after a long day at work and want to watch something entertaining? Yeah.